Inspection. The inspection process could be a long and tiring experience for the immigrants. After entering the registry room at Ellis Island, they stood in long lines. Numbered tags were pinned to their clothing. As they waited in line, the immigrants were observed by health officials. The officials looked for signs of illness, especially in people who coughed or limped as the line moved up a flight of stairs. Children over the age of 2 were asked to walk on their own so that officials could check their physical development. Doctors checked for a wide range of diseases, including cholera, various infections, and tuberculosis, which is a disease of the lungs, trachoma, a contagious eye disease that could cause blindness and sometimes death, was of special concern. To check for trachoma, doctors performed a painful exam. They peeled back the immigrants' eyelids and checked underneath them for infection. Immigrants were also given intelligence and mental tests. They were asked to put puzzles together or do arithmetic. Making these tests fair was a challenge because the immigrants spoke so many different languages. The registry room was often a noisy and confusing place, coming with the sounds of Italian, Polish, German, Dutch, and Russian. Immigrants who had a special medical condition were marked with chalk on their clothing. The chalk marks were usually letters. For example, H meant a heart problem, PG meant pregnancy, L meant lameness, which usually meant they had a limp, X meant a mental problem, and E meant an eye problem. People with chalk marks were held for further examination. Some were treated for minor illnesses and then allowed to enter the United States. If the medical condition was serious, the immigrant was not allowed to stay in America. The person had to get on a ship to return to his or her home country. The shipping company that brought that person to America paid for the return trip. In 1902, Ellis Island opened a 125-bed hospital for immigrants with treatable illnesses. The hospital was expanded in 1907 and then again in 1910. Some immigrants with contagious diseases were taken to hospitals in Brooklyn and Manhattan. Another hospital was added, and by 1911 there were 15 buildings on Ellis Island for medical treatment. For every 100 people who landed at Ellis Island, about 1 or 2 were not allowed to stay in America. This was not a large number per day, but it added up to thousands of people each month. The most difficult situation was when one member of the family was denied entry. What would the rest of the family do? If a child could not stay in America, would both parents return home with the child, or would one parent stay and the other leave? The examinations at Ellis Island sometimes resulted in difficult decisions. Those who passed the medical and intelligence test were then asked a series of questions. Using interpreters, Ellis Island officials recorded the immigrants' names. Long, complicated names were often shortened and made to sound more American. For instance, Jacobowitz might become Jacobs. Other questions were, are you married? How many children do you have? How old are you? What jobs are you trained to do? Where will you be living? The answers to these questions told the officials a great deal. They determined if the immigrants would be able to take care of themselves in America. The inspection process usually took 4 to 5 hours. When it was over, newcomers to America could finally feel excited and relieved. Then they would go to the money exchange where they could trade the money they had brought with them for U.S. dollars. We're going to stop there, 3rd grade, to our next class period.